Everyone in town knew the Apache tribe was doomed. 10 ruthless bandits had stolen 200 horses, the only hope of an entire tribe surviving the brutal winter. But when the townspeople were asked to help, they laughed. No one risks their life for Apaches. Then a lonely cowboy named Cody stepped forward. With nothing but his old black Mustang and a heart full of courage, he rode alone toward the Red Mountains, straight into the territory of 10 armed bandits. But Cody had no idea that this dangerous mission would lead to an unexpected alliance, a powerful love story, and a reward that would change his life forever. Because when he returned the 200 stolen horses, the Apache chief offered him 20 women and told him, "Choose one." Watch Love in the Wild West on the next video app as soon as possible. Please subscribe to my channel. Here is the script translated into English, formatted for readability and flow. The desert wind dragged dust and secrets across the land that afternoon as Cody rode toward the town. His horse, a black Mustang named Sombra, Shadow, snorted wearily after 3 days of travel. Cody was 28 years old, with eyes gray like steel and a scar on his left cheek that told stories he preferred to forget. He had no family, no friends, only Shadow and a small cabin in the middle of nowhere where silence was his only companion. But that day, everything would change forever. When he entered the town, he noticed people gathered in the central square. There were shouts, arguments, and faces filled with worry. Cody stopped his horse and listened. 200 horses, shouted a fat man wearing a hat. The bandits stole 200 horses from those Apaches. And what does that matter to us? Replied another. They're just Indians. Let them solve their own problems. Cody felt something churn in his stomach. He dismounted and approached the group. What exactly happened? He asked with a calm voice. The fat man looked him up and down. Who are you, stranger? Someone who asks questions. What happened with those horses? Aim note. If you are enjoying this story, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments which country you are watching from. It makes us very happy. An elderly man stepped forward. He had tired but wise eyes. 3 nights ago, a group of bandits attacked the Apache camp to the north. They took all their horses, 200 in total. Without those animals, the tribe will not survive the winter. They won't be able to hunt, they won't be able to move, they won't be able to do anything. And no one is going to help them, Cody asked. Laughter filled the square. Help the Apaches, said the fat man. Stranger, it's obvious you're not from around here. No one risks their life for them. Besides, those bandits are dangerous. There are at least 10 armed men. Cody looked around. He saw indifferent faces, shrugged shoulders, and gazes that avoided his. No one would do anything. No one would lift a finger. Then he remembered something his father had told him before dying. Son, a man is not measured by what he has, but by what he does when no one else wants to do it. Cody nodded slowly, more to himself than to the others. Which way did the bandits go? He asked. The old man raised an eyebrow. Are you crazy, stranger? Are you going alone? I just need a direction. The old man studied his face for a long moment, then pointed west. They went toward the Red Mountains, but no one returns from there alive. There's always a first time. Cody mounted Shadow again. Before leaving, he looked one last time at the group of people watching him, as if he were walking toward his own grave. You could help too, he said. It's 200 horses, an entire tribe, women, children. That means nothing to us, came the reply. Silence. Cody smiled bitterly. That's what I thought. Without saying more, he spurred Shadow and galloped west, toward the Red Mountains, toward the unknown. The sun began to set as he left the town behind. The desert stretched out before him like an ocean of sand and rocks. Cody knew he was doing something foolish. 10 armed bandits against 1 man. The odds were not in his favor, but there was something inside him he couldn't ignore. A voice telling him this was right, that his entire solitary life, all his pain, all his emptiness, had prepared him for this moment. He had nothing to lose, and perhaps, just perhaps, everything to gain. He rode for hours until the stars filled the sky. The desert cold began to bite at his bones. He found a small canyon protected from the wind and decided to camp there. As he lit a small fire, he heard a noise behind him. Cody stood up immediately, hand ready. His eyes scanned the darkness. "I know you're there," he said calmly. "Come out where I can see you." For a moment, there was only silence. Then a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an Apache man, tall and strong, with long black hair, marked features, and black eyes that shone like burning coals. He carried a bow in his hand and a knife at his belt. "You are the white man who left the town," said the Apache. His Spanish was clear, but accented. "I have been following you." "Why?" "Because I want to know why a stranger would risk his life for my people." Cody looked him directly in the eyes. "What is your name?" "They call me Black Hawk." "Well, Black Hawk, I don't have a grand reason. I just know that what those bandits did is wrong, and when something is wrong, someone has to do something about it." Black Hawk studied him silently for a long moment. Then, slowly, he lowered his bow. "You are different from other white men, maybe, or maybe I'm just as foolish." For the first time, something resembling a smile crossed the Apache's face. "Then we shall be two fools together," said Black Hawk, "because I am also going after those bandits, and now we will go together." Cody nodded. In that moment, under the desert stars, an alliance was born that would change their lives forever. That night, Cody and Black Hawk shared the small fire in silence. The fire crackled while the flames drew dancing shadows on the canyon rocks. Two men from completely different worlds, united by the same purpose. Cody observed the Apache warrior. There was something in his eyes that he recognized. It was the same pain he saw every morning in his own reflection. The loneliness of someone who has lost too much. "Why did you come alone?" Cody asked finally. "Why didn't your tribe send more warriors?" Black Hawk took a moment to answer. He picked up a branch and stirred the fire before speaking. "Our tribe is weak. The last winter was cruel. We lost many elders, many children. The remaining warriors must protect the camp, the women, those who cannot defend themselves. Someone must care for them. So you volunteered. I have no wife, no children. If I die, no one will mourn me." Cody felt those words like a blow to the chest. They were exactly the same reasons he had left the town without looking back. "We are alike, you and I," said Cody softly. Black Hawk looked at him intently. "Perhaps. But you are a white man. Why do you care what happens to my people? Your people hate us, call us savages, take our lands." It was a fair question. Cody looked at the stars, searching for the right words. "I am not my people," he said finally. "When I was a child, my family had a small ranch. One night, bandits arrived. They took everything. My father tried to stop them, and they left him badly injured. My mother died of grief a year later. I was left alone at 12. Black Hawk listened in silence. "Since then," Cody continued, "I know what it feels like to lose everything. I know what it's like when no one helps you when you need it most. I won't be like those people who look the other way. I can't." The Apache nodded slowly. There was respect in his gaze now, something that hadn't been there before. "You are a man of honor, Cody. My people have a word for men like you. We call you brother of the soul, someone who does not share your blood, but shares your heart." Cody felt a strange warmth in his chest. It had been years since anyone had said something like that to him. Years since he felt he belonged to something. "Thank you, Black Hawk. Do not thank me yet. First, we must recover the horses, and that will not be easy." At dawn, the two men began to follow the bandits' tracks. Black Hawk was an exceptional tracker. His eyes saw things Cody would never have noticed. A broken branch here, a moved stone there, marks almost invisible in the sand. 10 men, said Black Hawk while examining the ground. Maybe 11. The horses are moving in a large group. They cannot move fast. How much of a lead do they have? 2 days, but they are heading toward the Red Mountains. The terrain is difficult. We can catch them if we do not rest much. They rode all day under the scorching sun. The desert was relentless. The heat made the air tremble, as if the world itself were burning. But neither complained. Neither suggested stopping. During the journey, Black Hawk spoke to Cody about his tribe. He told him about their customs, their beliefs, their way of seeing the world. For us, horses are not just animals, he explained. They are part of our family. Each horse has a spirit. When a child is born in the tribe, a foal is assigned to them. They grow together. They protect each other. 200 horses, murmured Cody. It means every family lost something precious. It means children are crying because their best friend was stolen. It means elders who depended on their horses to move are now trapped. Cody gripped the reins tightly. Anger grew inside him. We will recover them, he said with determination. Every single one of them. By late afternoon on the second day, they reached the foothills of the Red Mountains. The landscape had changed dramatically. The rocks here were an intense red color, as if stained with ancient blood. Canyons opened like wounds in the earth. Black Hawk raised his hand, signaling them to stop. Smoke, he said, pointing north. About 2 hours from here. Cody squinted. Indeed, a thin column of smoke rose between the mountains. The bandits' camp, probably. We must approach with care. If they discover us too soon, all will be lost. They waited until dark. Then they left the horses hidden in a small canyon and continued on foot. Every step was calculated, every breath controlled. After an hour of silent walking, they reached a ridge overlooking a hidden valley. What they saw took their breath away. There were 200 horses enclosed in a makeshift corral, and around it the bandits' camp. Cody counted the figures around the fires. 10 men, he whispered. 11, corrected Black Hawk. There is one guarding on that high rock. Cody studied the terrain. The corral was in the center of the valley. The bandits slept in tents around it. There were only 2 guards, one on the high rock and another walking near the horses. We need a plan, said Cody. Black Hawk nodded. You are good with ideas. I am good at executing them. Together we can do it. Cody looked at the horses, thought of the tribal children crying for them, thought of the approaching winter, thought of everything at stake. I have an idea, he said finally, but it's going to be dangerous. The best ideas always are. Cody smiled despite the tension. He liked this Apache. Listen carefully, he said. This is what we will do. Cody and Black Hawk remained on the ridge, observing the bandits' camp while the full moon illuminated the valley with its silver light. The plan was risky, but it was the only option. Listen well, whispered Cody. There are 2 guards. The one on the high rock can see the whole valley. The other walks around the corral. If we neutralize the one on the rock first, the other won't be able to raise the alarm in time. Black Hawk nodded. I will handle the guard on the rock. I can climb up the east side unseen. I know these mountains. Good. When he is out, I will approach the corral. I need to open the gate and scare the horses so they run. The noise will wake the bandits, but by then the horses will already be in motion. And the second guard? Cody thought for a moment. I'll have to distract him. I'll throw a stone to the opposite side of the corral. When he goes to investigate, I'll open the gate. It's a good plan, said Black Hawk. But there is a problem. The horses don't know your scent. They might get scared and make noise prematurely. It was a valid point. The Apache horses were trained to recognize members of the tribe. A stranger could make them nervous. What do you suggest? Black Hawk took off a small leather pouch hanging from his neck. This is sacred sage mixed with herbs from the river. It is the scent of our tribe. Rub it on your hands and clothes. The horses will recognize you as a friend. Cody took the pouch and followed the instructions. An earthy, sweet aroma filled his nostrils. It was a strange but comforting smell. Thank you, he said. Do not thank me yet. The night has just begun. They separated in the darkness. Black Hawk disappeared into the shadows as if he were part of them, moving without making the slightest noise. Cody admired his skill. This man was a true warrior. Cody descended the west side of the ridge, using every rock and bush as cover. His heart beat hard, but he kept his breathing controlled. He couldn't afford any mistakes. It took him almost half an hour to get close to the corral. From his position, he could see the second guard walking slowly around the perimeter. He was a large man with a thick beard and a rifle slung over his shoulder. Cody looked toward the high rock. The first guard was still there, but suddenly his silhouette disappeared. Black Hawk had done his part. Now it was his turn. He searched for a stone of the perfect size and threw it hard toward the opposite side of the corral. The stone hit some rocks with a dry sound. The guard stopped. He turned his head toward the noise. "Who's there?" he grunted. He walked slowly toward where the stone had fallen, moving away from the corral. Cody seized the moment. He moved quickly but silently. Reaching the corral gate, the horses saw him approach. Some neighed softly, but none panicked. Black Hawk's herbs were working. "Calm down, friends," whispered Cody as his hands worked on the knot keeping the gate closed. "We're taking you home." The knot was complicated. His fingers struggled against the thick rope while seconds passed like hours. The guard could return at any moment. Finally, the knot gave way. Cody opened the gate wide and entered the corral. The horses looked at him curiously. He needed to make them run, but without causing panic too early. Then he heard a shout. "Hey, intruder!" The guard had seen him. He was running toward him, raising his rifle. There was no time for careful plans. Cody clapped his hands loudly and shouted. The horses reacted instantly. 200 animals began to run toward the open gate like an overflowing river. The guard had to jump aside to avoid being trampled by the stampede. His rifle fell to the ground. "Wake up!" the man screamed. "The horses, they're escaping, the horses!" The camp exploded into chaos. The bandits stumbled out of their tents half asleep, tripping over each other. But it was too late. The horses ran toward the valley exit in an unstoppable tide. Cody ran alongside them, trying to guide them east, toward where Black Hawk should be waiting. But then he felt a sharp pain in his left shoulder. Something had hit him. He fell to the ground, rolling in the dust kicked up by the horse's hooves. A bandit had hit him with a large stone and was now running toward him with clenched fists. "Damn thief!" the man shouted. "You're going to pay for this." Cody tried to get up, but his shoulder burned with pain. The bandit was almost on top of him, ready to strike. Suddenly, a shadow flew from the darkness. Black Hawk appeared like lightning, knocking the bandit down with a precise blow. The two rolled on the ground fighting. "Run!" shouted Black Hawk. "Guide the horses. I'll catch up." Cody hesitated for a second. He didn't want to abandon his companion. "Go," insisted the Apache. "The horses are what matter." With a divided heart, Cody obeyed. He got up, ignoring the pain, and ran toward where the horses were escaping. He found Shadow where he had left him hidden and mounted quickly. "Let's go, friend," he shouted, spurring the black Mustang. He rode toward the stampede, positioning himself at the front to guide the horses toward safe territory. Behind him, he could hear the bandits' screams and the chaos of the camp, but he didn't look back. He couldn't. He only thought of Black Hawk and prayed his friend would be okay. He rode for hours, guiding the 200 horses through canyons and valleys, until dawn painted the sky orange and pink. Finally, he stopped by a river. The horses drank water, exhausted but free. And then, on the horizon, he saw a lone figure riding toward him. It was Black Hawk. Cody felt his soul return to his body. Cody rode toward Black Hawk with his heart racing. When they were face to face, he noticed the Apache warrior had a cut on his forehead and dried blood on his lip, but his eyes shone with victory. "I thought you wouldn't make it," said Cody with relief. Black Hawk smiled. "The men of my tribe do not die so easily. Besides, I made you a promise. I said we would be two fools together, remember?" Cody laughed for the first time in a long time, a genuine laugh that came from deep within his chest. "What happened to the bandits?" "They are confused and furious, but without horses. They can't follow us. By the time they get mounts, we will be far away." The two men looked around. 200 horses rested by the river, drinking water and grazing peacefully. The mission had been a success. "Your shoulder," said Black Hawk, pointing to Cody's wound. "Let me see it." Cody had forgotten the pain amidst the adrenaline, but now he felt it throbbing strongly. He took off his shirt and let Black Hawk examine the wound. "It's not broken," said the Apache, "but you'll have a bruise the size of a melon for several weeks. I've had worse." Black Hawk took some leaves from his bag and chewed them until they formed a paste. Then he applied it to Cody's shoulder. "This will help with the pain and prevent infection." It is medicine from my people. Thank you, brother. The word came out naturally. Black Hawk looked at him with surprise, but then nodded with respect. Brother, he repeated. Yes, that is what we are now. They rested for a few hours by the river before continuing the journey. The Apache camp was a day away. The horses, although tired, seemed to know they were going home. There was a different energy in them, an anticipation that Cody could feel. At sunset the next day, they arrived at a green valley surrounded by mountains. Leather teepees stretched along the river. Smoke from campfires rose into the sky. Children played near the water while women worked preparing hides. When they saw them arrive, everything stopped. A small child was the first to scream. The horses! Black Hawk brought the horses. In seconds, the whole camp came to life. Men, women, and children ran toward them with tears in their eyes. Mothers hugged their children. Elders raised their hands to the sky in gratitude. Cody watched the scene with a lump in his throat. He had never seen such pure joy. Children ran toward specific horses, hugging their necks, crying with happiness. These people had recovered much more than animals. They had recovered hope. An elder with hair white as snow approached slowly. He carried a staff decorated with eagle feathers, and his face was marked by countless wrinkles that told stories of 1,000 battles. He was clearly the chief of the tribe. Black Hawk, said the elder with a deep voice, you have brought honor to your people. I did not do it alone, great father. Black Hawk pointed to Cody. This white man risked his life for us. Without him, the horses would be lost forever. The elder turned to Cody. His dark eyes studied him for a long moment, as if he could read his soul. Why? He asked simply. Cody dismounted and stood before the chief with respect. Because it was the right thing to do, because no one else was going to do it, and because I learned that skin color does not determine the value of a heart. The elder remained silent. Then a slow smile crossed his wrinkled face. Wise words from a young man. Tonight we will celebrate, and tomorrow you will receive your reward. Cody raised his hand. I need no reward. The elder interrupted him, but kindly. In our culture, an act of bravery must be honored. Refusing the gift would insult us. Do you understand? Cody looked at Black Hawk, who nodded discreetly. I understand, said Cody, and I accept with humility. That night the tribe celebrated as it hadn't in years. There was drum music, ancient chants, and dances around huge bonfires. Cody was treated as a guest of honor, seated next to the chief and fed the best dishes. But while everyone celebrated, Cody noticed something, or rather, someone. On the other side of the fire, a young woman was watching him. She had hair black as the falling night cascading over her shoulders like silk. Her eyes were the color of dark honey, deep and mysterious. Her face was delicate but strong, with high cheekbones and lips that seemed to keep secrets. She was, without a doubt, the most beautiful woman Cody had ever seen in his life. When their gazes met, she did not look away. She held his gaze with a mix of curiosity and something else Cody couldn't identify. That is my sister, said Black Hawk in a low voice, noticing where Cody was looking. Her name is Dawn, and it seems you have caught her attention too. Cody felt his cheeks warm up. She is very beautiful. She is more than that. She is the bravest woman in our tribe and the hardest to impress. Black Hawk smiled mischievously. Until now. The next morning, the entire tribe gathered in the center of the camp. The chief stood on a raised platform with Cody in front of him. The atmosphere was solemn, ceremonial. Cody, began the elder, you saved our people. You returned what we had lost. Therefore, you deserve our most valuable gift. He made a signal with his hand. From the crowd, 20 young women walked forward. They were the most beautiful in the tribe, dressed in their best decorated leather clothes. They formed a semicircle in front of Cody, and then, in unison, their soft voices filled the air like a melody. Now we are yours. Choose one. Cody felt the world stop. Had he heard correctly? The chief spoke again. These are the unmarried women of our tribe. As thanks, we offer you to choose one as a wife. You will become part of our family, part of us. Cody swallowed hard. His heart beat wildly. He looked at the 20 women, each beautiful in her own way, but his eyes sought only one. There she was at the end of the semicircle, Dawn. She looked at him with an almost imperceptible smile, as if she knew exactly what he was thinking. Cody walked slowly, passing in front of one woman, then another and another, all beautiful, all hopeful, but he only saw one. He stopped in front of Dawn and extended his hand. "Will you accept me?" he asked softly. Dawn looked at his hand, then into his eyes, and finally, with a smile that illuminated her face like the sunrise, she took his hand. "I was waiting for you," she whispered. The entire tribe erupted in celebration when Dawn took Cody's hand. The drums began to sound, the women sang ancient songs, and the children ran around the couple with joyful laughter. The chief raised his ceremonial staff, and silence returned. "Today is a historic day," he proclaimed with a powerful voice. "A man from another world has shown that courage knows no borders. He has risked his life for us, and now he will become one of us." He turned to Cody with solemnity. "The wedding will take place in 3 days, following our ancestral traditions. During this time, you will learn our customs. Dawn will be your guide." Cody nodded, still unable to believe what was happening. Just a week ago, he was a lonely man with no purpose or family. Now he was about to marry the most beautiful woman he had ever met and become part of a community that had accepted him as one of their own. The next 3 days were the most intense of his life. Dawn took him to every corner of the camp. She taught him words in her language. She showed him how medicines were prepared with herbs from the river. She explained the meaning of each symbol painted on the teepees. "This symbol represents the sacred mountain," she said, pointing to a drawing, "and this is the river of life. Each family has its own symbols that tell their story." Fascinated, he had never known a culture so rich, so connected to nature and its ancestors. But what surprised him most was Dawn herself. She was intelligent, funny, and had an inner strength that left him speechless. She was not a submissive woman waiting to be rescued. She was a warrior in her own right. "My brother taught me to use the bow when I was a child," she told him one afternoon while walking by the river. "The elders said it was not appropriate for a woman, but I didn't listen. I practiced in secret until I was better than most of the men." "I'm not surprised," said Cody with admiration. "Since I saw you, I knew you were different." Dawn stopped and looked him directly in the eyes. "Why did you choose me?" "There were younger women, quieter ones, easier ones." Cody thought carefully about his answer. "Because I don't want easy, I want real. When I saw you that night by the fire, I saw someone who isn't afraid to be who they are. Someone who would look at me as an equal, not as a superior. Someone with whom I could build something true." Dawn remained silent for a moment. Then a solitary tear rolled down her cheek. "All my life I waited for someone to say those words," she whispered. "I thought that man didn't exist." Cody gently wiped her tear with his thumb. "Here I am." Black Hawk watched everything from a distance with a satisfied smile. His sister had finally found someone worthy of her, and he had found a brother. The wedding day dawned clear and bright. The sky was completely blue, without a single cloud. The elders said it was a sign from the spirits, a blessing for the union. The whole tribe gathered in a clearing by the sacred river. The women had decorated the place with wild flowers and colorful feathers. The drums sounded softly as everyone waited. Cody stood next to the chief, dressed in traditional Apache clothes that the women had prepared for him. A soft leather shirt decorated with blue and white beads, pants of the same material, and new moccasins that fit his feet perfectly. He felt nervous but happier than he had been in his entire life. Then the crowd parted and Dawn appeared. Cody forgot how to breathe. She walked slowly toward him, dressed in a white leather dress, decorated with intricate designs. Her black hair was braided with red flowers and eagle feathers. Her eyes shone like stars. It was the most beautiful vision Cody had ever witnessed. When she reached him, their hands met naturally. The chief began the ceremony with ancient chants in the tribe's language. Then he spoke in Spanish so Cody could understand. "Marriage in our culture is not just the union of two people," he explained. It is the union of two rivers becoming one, two paths merging, two souls choosing to walk together until the end of their days. He took a rope woven with colored threads and wrapped it gently around Cody and Dawn's joined hands. This rope represents your union. The red threads are passion, the blue are loyalty, the white are the purity of your intentions. As long as you remain united, these threads will protect you. He turned to Cody. Do you promise to care for this woman, respect her as an equal, walk by her side in good times and bad? I promise, said Cody with a firm voice. Do you promise to honor her people as your own, to protect our tribe as you would protect your own blood? I promise. The chief turned to Dawn. Do you promise to care for this man, guide him in our customs, be his companion in all the storms of life? I promise, she answered with a voice as clear as the river water. Then, before the spirits of our ancestors and before our entire tribe, I declare you united. Two rivers become one, two souls become one family. The tribe erupted in jubilation. The drums sounded loudly. The women sang celebration songs. Cody looked at Dawn. She looked at him with tears of happiness in her eyes. I love you, he whispered. And I you, she replied. My cowboy of the desert. Black Hawk approached and hugged them both. Now you are officially my brother, he said to Cody. And you'd better take good care of my sister, or you'll have trouble with me. Everyone laughed.